really good, we are back with another episode of Flat Earth Gaming. Got a few things to run on today. One thing I wanted to get into is the monolith, or the Ashlar, from the 2001 Space Odyssey. We got into the habit of calling it the Ashlar on the last episode, but we were referring to it as the wrong name, which was the monolith. But it's also described as the Ashlar. And to them it was a symbol of moving from one world to the next, or one idea to the next, in which case a monkey touched the Ashlar, and then the monkey had the idea of using a tool as a weapon, or using a stick as a weapon. Kind of want to reverse that. The whole idea of a monkey using a stick as a weapon, it just enforces evolution, in which case I don't believe to be a fact. But if you refer back to 2001 Space Odyssey, then that's your evolution right there. Some other things I want to touch on tonight: the rocket launch. I'll be dropping a link to the rocket launch fund in the description this time. Do a little bit of talk about the seasons and how we know the seasons to be what they are. Another little something I was investigating today: the fake sun simulator. And I'm not saying that this is 100% truth. All I'm saying is that the patent is there. That's all I'm saying. The technology is there. If they did want to create a fake sun, they can. The technology is there. There's also a Mercedes-Benz commercial or something like that. I'm gonna have to find it, and I'll drop that link in the description also. But in this commercial, they showed people living on Mars, and when they did, they showed one of these sun simulators in the commercial. It was pretty wild. But it's a Mercedes-Benz commercial or something like that. I'm gonna have to pull that out and see exactly what that was. What's up, whoever's watching? Let me get a like and a comment. Oh, there you go. What is really good, D? I hope you having a good day out here on the plane. I hope you can hear me fine. Can you hear me fine?
Interesting. Oh, very interesting.
Let me go ahead and get on here so I can engage in the chat also. See if that is working. turn this in. A lot of this is all about free thinking. Everybody, do not be afraid to think freely. This is what we're brought here for. We can all make up our own minds on what is real and what is not. And all it takes is, let me say hi to these guys real quick. All it takes is a little bit of research and discernment to be able to tell what is real and what is not. I mean, for example, you can say all you want that weather manipulation is not real. However, I can prove to you that weather manipulation is real. Now, that's a topic for another day. Today we already have our topic set, but I would love to get into that. I would love to get into that with whoever, whenever. I just have to work out some of my audio problems, and I'll be able to get people on the show. How do I change my... One second. Let me see. I want to change my display message. Today I want the message to be I'm gonna put it as our channel. Now you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna put Behold the White Ashlar. I'm gonna change it to red. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It looks good to me. Behold a White Ashlar. Now the whole idea of reappropriating the Ashlar is me taking back the ideas of the builders who've built this whole false reality around us. Their duality is a big thing to them, and when we can finally see through it, well, that takes away their power. Now, I have some people that say, well, if you take the power from them and you start to use it, what's going to stop you from using the power just like they did? Well, in appropriating it, I would like to be able to spread the knowledge to everyone and anyone who is willing to seek it. That's the symbol of the White Ashlar. In the past, the Black Ashlar was used, or the Black Monolith, which can also be described as the Ashlar, was used to put an idea into the head of a being as if it's the end of one world and the introduction to a new. However, if you touch the Black Ashlar, you become destructive. But if you touch the new White Ashlar, you become creative. This is the symbol I'd like to bring along to the Flat Earth community, because I haven't heard anyone really talk about the Ashlar or the monolith and what it represents to the people who like to put their numerology and their secrets all in our faces. Something I'd like to really appropriate. Just like I'm taking the numbers, I'm taking all their numbers and making them my own. Just like all of us should do. Just like IPS was saying, Infinite Plane Society, saying that we are the new Illuminati because we are in the loop. We understand the bullshit or the tricks and the hoax behind everything. It's pretty crazy. Oh man, one thing I didn't have planned for today, but that I will like to touch on is Stephen Hawking. The idea of believing Stephen Hawking is a man in a chair who can communicate with everybody using only his cheeks is equivalent to the idea of people believing in Santa Claus. Santa Claus is able to do impossible things, deliver toys to children all over the place, all over the world. I mean, as adults, we all know Santa Claus is not a real thing.
Heavy ammo available.
But when we're kids, we believe it. Now, as an adult, if you can take the time to think about the idea of who and what Stephen Hawking is. What's up, buddy? What you doing there, King? Are you muting me? How you doing? If you can take a minute to think of the idea of what Stephen Hawking is, a man with ALS who was, predicted not to live past 50, but now he's 75, who talks through a computer created by Intel, and oh, he just ran past that. Created by Intel, and he's able to talk to us and communicate these complex ideas with only using his cheekbone or his cheek muscles to create these thoughts into words with the robotic sound system, I guess you can call it. The robotic sound system. No. This was brought to my attention today from an article written on tipofthebeak.blogspot.com. I'll also post a link to that in the chat or in the description.
Heavy ammo
If
on the way.
this was a true idea, that someone could communicate full, in-depth, intelligent thoughts with only their cheek muscles,
Heavy ammo available.
that technology would be used throughout the world tenfold. Like, everyone would be using it. Except there's only one problem. No one does. There's only one person that uses it, and his name is Stephen Hawking. Now, if there's a way you can find to justify that, you should reevaluate what it is in life that you see as reality. If there's a way that you can find only one man in the world is able to communicate full articulate thoughts with using only his cheek muscles, and no one else can use that technology, like, I mean no one, like, even if you support the military, and I mean, I'm not saying I don't, but for the right purpose, sure, but don't you think that they would be using this technology? Oh, hit them with that. Oh, too many of them. Don't you think somebody in the world, just one person, would be using this technology other than him? But they are not. It's because that shit doesn't exist. The technology doesn't exist. It's not real.
Heavy ammo
I don't think it's real. I really don't think so. This is my thoughts, you know, JMO. Shouts to Richie from Boston. I gotta give the shouts. Shouts again, man. Shouts again. Richie from Boston, Russian Vids, Infinite Plane Society, Jeranism. Haven't really got into Mark Sargent like that, but I hear he's a good one. It's only a few people that I really listen to like that. Supers everywhere. But I gotta say, it's quite the idea, it's quite the fantasy to believe in a man that has a disease that breaks a man down, but over time he's only become smarter and more articulate. It's pretty wild. It's a fairy tale. There's a fairy tale that every fucking person that believes in the globe, they believe it. 100% they believe that a man can do these things that Stephen Hawking does. And it's nonsense.
Heavy ammo on the way.
I think what was even more nonsense is that, in the article, it states that
heavy ammo available.
The problem is that not that everyone doesn't know that he's a fraud. It's that everyone knows and they just don't acknowledge it. That is a huge problem. Oh, hold on. It's the graphic designer on. I just got some great graphic designs. Gonna be putting them up on the channel as soon as I can, but for some reason it's just not working right now. And I'll be goddamned. I do not like mayhem, man. It's a little too crazy. Well, you know what? I think I'm using the wrong super. I'll go back in and use a different one. While we go in, just look at this view. Look at this view right here. There's all kinds of indoctrination everywhere. I love this game, but look at this. You know what would solve this problem? If they would just show something coming back from orbit where you can see that curve in the back right there. That curve of the planet. Oh, you even see the stars in the back. Even with the sun. With the sun in the back, you can still see the stars. I know this is just a game, but they try to make it as realistic as possible. If there was ever a view of a shuttle returning to Earth where you see it change from being a ball to a flat horizon, that would solve all problems right there. That would just be like, boom, there you are, in your fucking face. It's a goddamn ball. But there is no view of that. Man, and I had show notes and all that, but I guess that's just how it goes. It changes as it goes. I was putting it out there today about eclipses and how they are basically assumed. If we could get a view from the surface of the moon of a lunar eclipse and watch the shadow of the earth be cast on the moon, then that's it. You know, that's a win-win. All you gotta do is show it, and with all the technology there is today, I don't see how that wouldn't be able to show. There's a Japanese orbiter that's orbiting the goddamn moon, but has it showed a fucking eclipse and the shadow of the earth being cast
Iron
on the
Banner,
moon?
Mayhem
No,
Clash.
it
Alpha
hasn't.
Team.
No one has. There's all kinds of satellites out there that are supposed to do
Prove
these
you are
type
worthy of
things.
the Iron Lords.
There's satellites out there that show. There's satellites out there that take pictures of the Earth every 10 minutes. The Himawari 8. I've even looked at it. I've seen some of the pictures, and I'll be goddamned if I wasn't displeased by those. People with Nikon P900 take better pictures of the moon from the Earth's surface than a $7 million satellite from only like 22,000 miles away. These people are taking images of the moon, which is 250,000 miles away, and the Himawari 8 is 22,000 miles away, and it's way higher technology, way more advanced technology, yet it can't take a better picture than a fucking Nikon. Get the fuck out of here. I don't believe that for a second. For 2 seconds, a half second, I don't believe it. There's no way that can be possible. With all the money these people dump into this stuff,
Heavy ammo on the way.
and you can't get a fucking picture of the Earth that's more clear than a picture from a camera, from a digital camera from Earth.
Heavy ammo available.
That makes no sense. A $600 camera versus a $700 million satellite. And for some reason, the pictures from the camera are more clear. That just doesn't make any sense, man. But yet, you show that shit to people on Earth and they just eat it up, man. They just eat that shit up. But that's how we all do. That's how we used to do. Or how I used to do also. I love space. I love the
Only
moon.
5 minutes left.
And, you know, pictures of Earth and all this shit, man. I used to be so indoctrinated thinking that the moon looked a certain way, or that it was a certain thing, or that the Earth was, you know, just all these thoughts that I had in my head that were predetermined. I never got to come to the conclusion of those thoughts. I was told to think those thoughts. Fuck you. I was told to think those thoughts. It's sad. It really is. Sad. God damn it. I'll wait for that guy. And then lights the floor on fire. Fuck
Heavy
it.
ammo inbound.
Just don't make any sense to me. It just don't make
Heavy
no
ammo
sense.
available.
That's why we have to appropriate the Ashlar. Now, everyone who touched the black Ashlar, they all accepted the idea. They all accepted the idea of the globe. They all accepted the idea of the moon and its shape and distance. They all accepted that man walked on the moon. That was a touching the Ashlar. It means all of those things. The black Ashlar leads you to make those opinions. Yet you didn't get to make them on yourself, by yourself, or with your own discernment, with your own research, with your own investigation. None of that. It was given to you because you touched it. You touch it and they give you the idea. Shut that down. That guy touched the black Ashlar. Let's see who else. Oh, Lightning Man. Ah! Fuck it. Killed his bitch ass. For they get for touching the black Ashlar.
Heavy ammo on the way.
Reappropriating the themes, the knowledge, the sacred cows. Like IPS, yo. My boy IPS, man. I fucked with him.
Gained the lead. Heavy ammo
No
available.
sacred cows on flat Earth. No sacred cows on flat Earth.
You're falling behind.
I was just in somebody's comments the other day, like, man, cause this, I tell you what, these guys, they be talking about how flat Earth has been disproved by so many different people and video footage, and how you can just go find a curve if you really go look for it. But the same people, man, they say that, yet they do zero amount of investigation. It's so, and we might as well get into the ridicule right now. With zero amount of investigation on any topic, they can just go immediately assume that it's incorrect because it's something that they just never fucking thought of in their life. Something they never thought of in their life. Something that's so beyond the wall. Like, this is Game of Thrones. It's beyond the wall. Don't you go over there with them wildlings, because everyone south of the wall will disown you. You go over there with them wildlings, buddy.
30 seconds
They will
left.
disown that
This is
ass
gonna be
quick.
close.
Don't you go away from the official narrative, because
Heavy ammo inbound.
what we say is real. What they told you is real. Everything you learned as a child
Only 10
is
seconds
real.
left. Heavy ammo available.
And again, it's like people don't think we went to the
Well
same
done.
fucking school,
I could
that
have
we learned the
used your
same
talents
things.
in the field.
We definitely learned the same things. We all went to the same school. We all learned about the globe. We all learned it. There's really no need to ridicule. The idea of thinking freely, for some reason, bothers a lot of people. And they love to ridicule. Now that's what I'm talking about. Put me on the top. Dark King, Seg Nasty, Undead, Drum, Vertimus. Good game, guys. See you on the flip. Put your mic on next time and join the conversation, man. It would be lovely. Any idea that you think you have that you can say against someone that believes in the flat earth? You might as well stop there and try again, because they really have heard just about everything. This thing has been going on forever. It's not like people have been thinking the earth was... It's not like people have been thinking the earth was flat in the last few years. People thought that shit since the beginning. Ancient cultures thought it. Like, there's just about every ancient culture before Copernicus knew the Earth was flat. I mean, think about like the Mayans and the Aztecs and how advanced their astrology was, although they believed in a flat
Iron
Earth.
Banner, Mayhem Clash. Alpha Team.
That doesn't fucking tell you something. When will you think? When are you gonna think? When are you gonna use your brain? When are you gonna get out of what they've been telling us forever? Like in this game, everything has to be a ball.
Prove you
Everything
are
on
worthy
the
of
ball.
Iron Lords.
You're gonna believe Santa Claus. We're adults. I'm almost 30 years old. We are adults. Time to stop believing in Santa Claus. Stephen Hawking, lie.
You're in the lead.
Can't happen. It's an impossibility. It is an impossibility. It just goes to show how easily controlled we are. Through different ways. Through fear is usually what he's involved with.
2 for 1. Triple down.
Ooh, triple down. Get the bam, boy. He touched the black one. Ooh, that is what happens when you touch the black monolith. Oh, I'm gonna die.
Heavy
Ooh,
ammo
shouldn't have
on
got
the
that. How easily we are deceived.
way. Heavy ammo available.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. No bueno. I really do encourage everyone to go read that article, or even if you don't read the article, just do a little
Only 5
investigation.
minutes left.
Do a little investigation as to... No, baby. I swear, if Stephen Hawking came out and said that the world was gonna end in 10 days, who would just believe that shit? Why? Because, for one, you can't not believe him because they pull on your heartstrings. They got the man in the wheelchair who looks like a fucking monster,
Heavy ammo
and
inbound.
you automatically feel sorry for the guy. Automatic. You're like, fuck, why is this guy still alive, man? It's been 25 years past his expiration date, and we're just eating it
Heavy
up.
ammo available.
Just fucking eating it up. It all makes sense. Everything he says is truth because goddamn he should have died 20 years ago. But since he's still there, he must make it must be
3
real.
opponents down.
Yeah, that's right. Give me that triple. Where's this next one at? Motherfucker. Stephen Hawking just said I was gonna die, so I died. It was foreseen. I bet anything there's something about some of his predictions that have to do a lot with the number 33. I bet, man. Because they just don't... You're not able to go on TV and say those kind of things unless you're given those numbers. All it takes is a little bit of research. Just a little bit. Ooh, he tried for that one. Just a little bit of research. But I'll tell you what this motherfucker never did. He never got in a rocket. Stephen Hawking never got in a goddamn rocket to go into space to look if all the shit he was actually saying was true. Nobody got in a fucking rocket to go check if what he said was true, man. It's never fucking happened. And if you believe that Buzz Aldrin, Michael Collins, and of course the first man, Neil Armstrong, ever set foot on the moon, you've really not done one tiny speck of dust of research. Not one. There's so much evidence to point to the fact that they never went. For example, there was a number of items that Neil Armstrong had reportedly left on the moon. However, after his death, his wife just so happened to find them in the closet. How the hell did his wife find a bag with the camera amongst other items that were supposedly left? I'm talking about even on the official documents from the moon landings in Apollo 11. These items were reported left on the moon, but yet after his death they suddenly appear in his goddamn closet. There is no way. There's no way, man. There's no way. Either there was a lie somewhere, right? There had to be a lie somewhere. Whether it was the moon landing in total, or whether it was him lying about what items were left there. But even still, man, if I was to go to the moon and I said I left something there, and then you guys find out that after I die my wife finds them, man, come on, would y'all not be like, man, John was full of shit, man. John Valdez was full of shit this whole time. He kept saying that he left that quarter on the moon. He left that quarter on the moon. Oh, they gave me this big ass ugly thing. It doesn't make any sense for anyone to believe it. I used to believe it though, so I can't really say too much, but I'm past that. I'm in a new world, pretty much. Not a new world, but a new plane. Shouts to that snap. We're all about free thinking here. If you're capable of free thinking, join up. Join the idea. You don't necessarily have to think that the earth is flat. You don't. All you have to do is entertain the thought of free thought. The thought of free thought. Now, isn't that something? At what point in my life did I think I was going to be encouraging free thought? That's funny. I don't know. Never. Never would have thought. Never would have expected it. Never would have thought. But here I am. It's just because these ideas, man, there's almost everybody I know is, they're just not aware of these ideas or patents or documents or all of these things that I've been able to produce, and it's all because I've been able to question reality. And even though I can produce all of these things for everyone, they still don't want to get it. Like, oh yeah, I remember now, like I was saying, I was on somebody's debunking flat earth video last night. And then of course he shows the curved lens as if that's proof of curvature. But he also fails to recognize the curvature formula, which is scientific. If you believe in the science of the globe, you cannot pick and choose. If you believe it, you have to believe the curvature. If you believe that curve is there, it's been calculated. It's been calculated by people smarter than us, right? Therefore, it's real. It's a real idea. It's a real concept. Boy, that should have been a headshot. I was right in his face. I just smacked him in the face with the flat earth. And people think Stephen Hawking can fucking communicate all these complex idea of black holes with his cheekbones. Or cheekbone. I keep saying cheekbones. His cheek muscles, man. Cheek twitches, dude. No fucking way, man. No way. You might as well believe in the Tooth Fairy. If you still believe in Santa Claus, then alright, you know, I ain't got nothing against you, you know. If you still believe in Santa Claus at this age, I'm hoping, or not hoping, but I'm expecting to be reaching a different type of audience. But even still, I'm sorry to break it to you kids. If you're listening, Santa Claus ain't real. And adult, if you're listening, Stephen Hawking is not real. He's a puppet. There is absolutely no way that what it's claimed that he's doing is possible. It's just not possible. The man should have been dead. And even if not dead, there's just no way. If the technology was available, plenty of people would have been using it already. Not to mention, when they were developing the technology to create his voice, it was said that his brain waves weren't strong enough, and the guy who created it was testing it and it worked fine. Although when Stephen Hawking tried to use his brain waves to manipulate the software, it wouldn't work. Although his mind is supposed to be one of the fucking biggest and brightest, right? Yeah. Wasn't bigger and brighter than the guy who developed the goddamn voice software. I'll tell you that. And that's a fact. But if you don't believe it, it's fine. I'll just provide the link and then you can believe what you're gonna believe after. However, if you still choose to believe that the man is a or the thing, I should say, the thing is a real man, well, then you'll just be living in ignorance after the facts are provided to you. Kind of like learning about Santa Claus, man. One day, Santa stopped coming. One day, Stephen Hawking gonna stop coming. And then who's gonna take his place? Who is gonna take his place? Neil deGrasse Tyson? Oh man. I really do love it. I've listened to Neil deGrasse Tyson say that the Earth is so massive, there's no way that anyone could get a picture of it. No way. I've listened to him say this. Him and Joe Rogan together, I've listened to them say it. The Earth is so massive, there's no way that anyone could ever get a picture of it. But then I hear them say on a different podcast that, oh yeah, there's satellites that take pictures of the whole Earth every 10 minutes. Like, which one is it, man? Is the Earth so massive you can't take pictures, or is it that
Only 5 minutes left.
science has advanced, or technology has advanced so much that you can take a picture of the Earth every 10 minutes? Man, come on. Which one is it, man? You have got to be shitting me. One minute they say this, one minute they say the next, and there you you disagree with the narrative, and then you got Neil deGrasse Tyson in your house, waving his sausage fingers around and not even know what the fuck he's talking about. And that's a real thing. Maybe like a month ago, Katy Perry doing a live stream, and some of the penguins went in there and mentioned that the Earth was flat. I know one was Spiritual North. You fucking bitch. What a bitch. Nero, you're a hoe. Pick your gun up. Katy Perry was doing a live stream, and a couple of the guys from the community I'm a part of, Wrench Squad all day, went into her chat and were saying flat Earth, and she read it online while she was on her live stream. Within 12 hours, Neil deGrasse Tyson was at her house. I'm not even fucking kidding. This guy is like the puppet, the new puppet for the globe. It's like they have to fucking put this globe out. It's kind of weird, man. Not kind of weird. It's, I don't know. Once you understand it, it kind of just pisses you off, man. It just don't make no sense. But then it makes all the sense. It don't make no sense, but then it makes all the sense. Like, why would they do it? But then once you start to get into why they would do it, then you understand. And that's one of the biggest things people ask all the time. Why? Why would they do it? Why would they hide it? Why would they? Well, if that was you that was doing it, and you had an infinite amount of resources and land beyond what you've been telling people, like, is that not a reason in itself? You know what people do for money in this world? Imagine what people do for land, gold, shit like that. Oh, you are such a bitch! I'm gonna switch to the same type of grenade and shit on that guy. Fusion grenade using as bitch. Oh, forgot. Neil Snaking deGrasse Tyson. And I got friends that just eat that shit up. The man has a book called Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. Like, what kind of book is that? He's just supposed to teach you about the universe because you're in a hurry. Because you need to know. You absolutely need to know that the Earth is a ball. I'm telling you, that's the whole point behind all this shit.
Only 1 minute left.
What the fuck else is he saying? Is he saying anything? Is there any... What contributions has the man made to science? How you doing, ya bitch? Heavy Chevy, y'all. That wasn't even the right guy.
Enemy almost won.
Ooh, you almost died. There you go. Go ahead and die for me one time. Look at this thing. You see this big fucking round ball thing? I'm pretty sure that Neil deGrasse Tyson would get off on that thing. Oh, look at that. Oh my god, Brian Cox. Wow, man. You know what's funny is that, man, these big heads in science,
Embrace the chaos of battle, or you'll
they
never
say they
victory.
know for a fact that these things are real, like evolution or the Big Bang. How could you know that for a fact? There's absolutely no way you could know these things for a fact. Give me that shit. Rangefinder? Give me that shit. Matador 64. No way you could know these things. You could not know that the sun is 93 million miles away unless you went there and counted. Unless you had the telemetry data. There's no way to know. The only reason I know how far I fucking work is because I go there. I can count the miles. I have the technology to be able to count the miles. It's not like I was like, oh, well, here's this idea of the place I work at, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it's this far, even though I've never fucking been there. It could be any number of distances between here and there, but I'm gonna go ahead and say I know for a fact. I know for a fact because judging of where I am right now, and really that's it. I guess if my work was shining a light at me, I would be able to do that, but there's just no fucking way, man. No way that is possible for you to be able to know where it's at. Got a text from a friend earlier. I thought he was going to join the fire team, but I guess not. People scared, man.
Rumble.
That's the problem. People are scared. Scared to...
You'll find no allies on this battlefield. Fight.
say what's on their minds. There's nothing wrong with saying what's on your mind. Thinking freely. Yeah, I did that to you, Sparky. Say what's on your mind. Think freely. Think outside the globe. Everybody always says it's a small world, but yet they haven't actually gone anywhere outside of like 100 miles, and then they say it's a small world. You know what's funny is that I was telling a friend of mine about the curvature and the curvature calculator, and he even said to me like, well, even engineers say that that thing is not accurate over 100 miles. And I'm thinking, dude, I'm not fucking thinking 100 miles, like just 3 miles. 5 miles, 10, you know, there should definitely be some curvature there, measurable curvature and predictable curvature, because it's been found out. I'm not the first one to think of the idea of the curve and how to measure it. People did it way before me. I'm just a student. I'm just learning what people already learned before me. That's how shit works. People teach you, and which got us here in the first place. People taught us that
Gains the
the
lead.
idea of a globe was the only way to go. That's the only thing to think, and if not, then you're an idiot. Pretty sad. But today you have beheld the white Ashlar. The white monolith. This is the Space Odyssey 2017. Space
Lost
Odyssey
the lead.
2017, where the white Ashlar touches down. And the monkey touches it, and he puts down his spear.
You're in the lead.
Puts his spear down and picks up his notebook. Begins to write. Instead of destroy, he begins to construct. That is the idea. That is the 2017 Space Odyssey. Brought to you by Flat Earth Gaming.
You're falling behind.
The idea of the white monolith. I guess to get the idea, you'd have to go back and look and see the black monolith for yourself. Even though I know a lot of people know about it, they just never knew exactly what it was. Because I knew about it before I knew exactly what it was. I saw it in cartoons all the time and shit. I just never knew what the fuck it was. I seen it represented as a remote in like The Simpsons or something like that. I think I used to see it in this show called Prometheus and Bob that used to come on Nickelodeon. Ah. Pretty sure I used to see it there. It was a show between an alien and a monkey, so... You know, I think Prometheus is actually someone in Space Odyssey. And just think about how important stone structures are, especially like a monolith. People love their stones and their Egyptian culture, the words, monolith. Come on, they love it. If somebody was to get a hold of this, they would fucking die.
Heavy ammo on the way.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Five minutes remaining. Heavy ammo available.
Ooh. Guess I'll get on seasons in part 2. This is definitely not all I plan to stream tonight. Trying to get a few ideas out. I guess separate them into different segments. If this was just an opener, I'd say it's a hell of a fucking opener. Good information though, all around. I'll have to go back and look at what information I was supposed to drop in the chat because I haven't put, or in the description, because I haven't put my goddamn controller down yet. Oh, you bitch, man. I have to go back and look. We shall see. We'll go ahead and run to the end of this game right here. You gotta be kidding me.
Almost won.
Wave it off. And as we sign out, there he is. See y'all later.